Look,
Yeah.
we're having really bad weather in my area too,
Oh
so
no, it just finally cleared up on my end. We finally have a somewhat pseudo spring like day today.
well,
Finally.
we have been having thunder bursts that sound like bombs going off all
Dang.
around us all morning. It just
Right.
calmed down, but I still have the heavy thunderstorm warning up.
Right. So your internet is still kind of
It
wonky,
it'll
might be.
probably be shaky. I don't know
Right.
if it looks bad, tell me.
Okay. All right. No problem.
But anyway, good
Yes.
morning, everyone.
Good
It
morning.
is what is it? Friday? Yeah, it's
It's
Friday.
Friday. Yeah. Oh
Friday,
yeah.
March
Yeah.
17th, 2023. And that means
Happy
yes.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, or as we call it here in New York, a cop on every corner day.
Oh my gosh. And with a lot of alcohol and a little luck, we'll all be fighting or fucking tonight.
Right.
You ready, Lage?
Absolutely not. But hit it.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. Check this shit out. Woo. Nice, Daphne.
My baby. My baby.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, my baby returns to Kickstarter. Next week, we are officially 1 week away from the launch of Eager Raven issue 6. But before we get into that, who's joining us today in the chat?
The only person in the chat right now is Allison.
Oh, hello, Allison.
Everybody else is just being nosy. Say hello, people.
Yes, and I see them. The 11 people next to the giant eyeball on my screen watching us from regions beyond. If you are watching us from Facebook, good morning, Jay. If you are watching us from Facebook, if you are watching us from Twitter, come on over to YouTube. Come keep Allison and Jay company in the chat. You know, we're waiting for everybody. Oh, hey, chat. And
we're
chat.
here.
And chat.
Was here.
You know, it's like, it's like Facebook has a tendency to act up, and Twitter, we can't even read your comments. So if you want to interact with us, is Chad acting up again?
I accidentally blocked him.
Oh, no.
Chad, get on another account and come back. I'll fix that after the show.
Oh, my goodness. Nita.
I just wanted to time out him.
Poor Chad. He's so abused.
Hey, Rodney.
Hey, hello. Oh my goodness. Yes, I did.
Morning,
I did. Hey, Bess. Because it's like, look, I am just finishing up I am just finishing up checking my proofs and getting it together for my printer to get the actual proofs back. So yeah, I am more than excited. But before Ephraim comes over and rings the bell for me, hello everyone. My name is Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992, and you know what that
I will
means?
send you to Jesus.
And I am known. I am known for the furry fantasy adventure Tall Tales. Thank you everybody for supporting the Peacekeepers campaign. The last of the packages went out the day before yesterday, the day before yesterday. I have 2 more sketch covers to finish to send those last packages out. Also, if you are one of the 10 people who didn't fill out your survey, please go to Kickstarter and fill out your survey so I can send you your Peacekeepers books. Yeah, I have around 10 packages just waiting to get out of this house, and I want them out of my house because I want them in your house. You spent your hard-earned money on it, so come and get your books. Thank you. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, which, like I said, returns to Kickstarter next Friday. We are 1 week away. We will be doing our usual launch party for Eagle Raven. It's just like I can't be more excited to finally get this going. It's like I've been working on it for like the past month and trying to finish it up, and I'm so happy that we're in that home stretch. And in the meantime, you could read both of my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. Yes, Vess, listen to Vess. Fill out all your surveys. And also, you can read my comics at eagleworks.com, EGOWORKS. And remember, you can check out all my videos here on YouTube on how I make my comics here at Daphne Lage Art, LAGE, which simulcasts through the Indie Comics Network. So, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down. It's all the same to the algorithm. Hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we go live with any of our shows. And to tell you more about that is Nita Lanning, who is coincidentally in green, but I guess that was accidental, or
no, I have to be because my kids are evil.
Oh, okay.
And I had to make sure it could be seen all around because they just want to pinch you.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I'll say. Okay.
So there's a lot to talk about.
Ooh.
Like a lot. Okay, first of all, if you did not notice, notifications did not go out for Indie Comics Network after dark. That is because we have opted to merge the 2 channels into one. We will now have an adults only playlist featured on the main channel. So everything can be found at indiecomicsnetwork.com.
It.com.
Cut.
That's it. All right. So with that out of the way, let's see something big. Tonight, tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern for the launch of The Boger. That's Mitch Rogers' book. That's going to be hosted with Randy Zimmerman and C. Michael Lanning. Oh my gosh, there's a lot in my brain.
There's a lot of campaigns going on right now.
But I would like to make it abundantly clear that Indie Comics Network is not for profit.
Oh,
I neither receive, give, take nothing, any money for any of this. I just want to make sure I put that out there on this table. Like, no one pays me for using my StreamYard. No one pays me to get on a show. I just want to make that abundantly clear. Let's throw that out there because there's a lot of talks going around right now about different networks and stuff like that. This is me and people I like in the industry streaming on my fucking channel and putting it out there for you guys to sell and support and move comic books. That is it.
Right. Because it's like, especially because what I'm learning, right, is that we're stronger as a group as opposed to having our own separate channels. Although it's always good to have your own separate channels. Because there's a reason
anyone on our network is always free to stream as simulcast to their own channels if they so choose.
Yeah, because like I said, it's like we did the show as kind of like a networking thing, you know, where it's like we get to talk to a lot more people through this channel than I even can. Well, yes, exactly. Hello. Yeah, so it's like we decided to kind of like clean up things a bit. We thought like keeping stuff separate might have been better, but in the end, what we found out is that by separating certain content, it dilutes the audience. So,
right.
and the whole point is that we want everybody to see our stuff. Mind you, the adult stuff, you have to be logged in and age,
Yes, it is
age verified.
all be age verified.
So we just figured it was a good idea to because Wu-Tang is for the children. We just figured that by consolidating everything back onto the main channel, it gives everybody a chance to shine, as opposed to being on a separate channel that is a little bit more restrictive because it is marked as a completely adults only channel. But yeah,
and with more networks popping up with multiple creators streaming from one channel, a lot of people are becoming more familiar with the fact that this show that you watched right now this morning doesn't necessarily reflect the programming that you're going to see this afternoon. So the reason for separation in the beginning was also not only worrying about loss of content from YouTube blocking us, but also running off subscribers. Look, if you don't like something on our channel, don't watch it. But if you don't like us, don't watch us. But guess what? There's plenty of other people. JD Calderon streams over here. Randy Zimmerman. Find your place. Like there's something. We're trying to have something for everybody. You don't like the adult content? Guess what? Don't click it. And here's a big thing. If you accidentally click it, it's going to ask you to verify your age. So if you're going to come in the chat to bitch about that, you're just an asshole, and we don't want you here anyway.
Right. Well, you know, it's the usual internet stuff, that happens. So so if you're seeing like so if you're seeing like little changes on the channel, and that's the thing too, it's like, you know, part of what I always like it's like part of like what I enjoy about this process is always pretty much exactly, but we're friendly assholes. You know, at least we try to be. Right. Oh, I know. Right. It's kind of like Prince. Yeah. It's like Prince used to have that secret vault where he would make stuff and just put it in there just to have it. It would never be released. Oh no, John! Of course you're always here. You're always here. We're just You're just going to be streaming directly from our
Indie Comics Network instead of the After Dark channel.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully maybe that might do something with the quality issues that we've been seeing with your particular show. So so maybe by doing that, it'll just, like I said, improve everything for everybody. So but the thing is though, it's like what I always enjoy is like learning all these new things. It's like, oh, maybe if we did this, maybe if we do that, and and in the end, it's like that's kind of part and parcel with what we do. It's like the ability to pivot with new information, and and it's like, and it just seems like every time it seems like a very last minute thing where we decide to pivot, it always tends to work in our favor.
Always.
So it's just really funny, like the several times, like okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's do the other thing, and it just seems like a really quick decision. It ends up usually being the best decision. So the ability. So we just want this to be a really nice networking place for everybody that comes on to our shows, that joins us, that runs shows through here. And we're just trying to make the best possible environment that will work best for everybody. So that's that's kind of why we keep tinkering with stuff. And so is there anything else in housekeeping you want to go over?
I'm frozen.
Right. Well, I can hear your voice. So yes.
Okay. So is audio coming in clear?
Yeah. I can hear you. So
okay. All right. What was the question?
If there's anything else in housekeeping
There are tons of Kickstarters. Don't forget okay, just on the Kickstarter platform, I'm gonna do it fast. So we got Doghouse issue 1, Who Cut the Cheese? That's live and going strong. Nightwolf, issue 7 is in sign up mode. The Legend of Sparkle Dog, Don't Say a Woo. Sister Mercy, issue 8, Ego Raven, Human Hunters, and actually Human Hunters might be off by now. No, wait, no, it's in sign up. And Penny for Your Soul. Let's see, Tomorrow Girl's done. The Neverland, Caleb Thrust's book, is in sign up, and of course Mistress Suzumi's Adult Lessons by Astral Intent Astral Ticket is available on Kickstarter and in sign up mode, and on Indiegogo sign up for the Boger and the Mythicals.
Right. Oh, is the hybrids game still available too on Indiegogo? It should be, right?
If not, it is on Fund My Comic.
Right. Oh, that's true. That's true.
So that would be Hybrids, the RPG and trade paperback by Luke Stone and Nicholas Tockert.
Yeah. So everything. Yeah. And also there's like she said, there's a whole bunch of other campaigns too. If you head on over to the Indie Comics Network promotions page on Facebook, you can see all the other campaigns that are available as well. I mean, like I said, it is the season.
Yo.
you know? So hello. Yes, I mean it's like so obviously everyone is waking up. Like even the birds are waking up. It's like I said, it's the first springtime day that we've had. I mean, like the past couple of days, it's been like in the 30s, and then now it's finally like I can open the window a bit. So I'm very so it's very exciting. It's the
here's an easy question.
Oh, here we go. What's the longest you've held an order for someone that hasn't fulfilled their Kickstarter survey? I sent one out a whole year once. Oh, well, the longest I've held a Kickstarter package was 4 years. And that was way too long. So what happens is that with Kickstarter, good morning, Tyler. So what happened is that with Kickstarter, they close out that campaign after a year after your, I think, like your ship month. So if you said that things were going to ship out like July 2020, then July 2021 is when they close the campaign and you lose access to the backers.
Right.
I saw someone else do this, and what they did was that they just started putting a notification on their campaigns that you have 1 year, that you have that year to get your survey in and get your rewards. After a year, they say that there's no guarantee the reward will be available, and your pledge is considered a donation to the campaign, and that's it. So so if you need to hold on to something, I would recommend doing the year thing. Once Kickstarter closes out your campaign officially, there's no reason why you have to hold on to anything. I mean, I think a year is more than reasonable for people to get back to you. I did have one person who did get back to me, like I said, that they came back probably like a couple of years. They're like, oh, hey, I pledged to this, and I happened to still have the rewards available. So I was able to put together his order and send him his books, but it's not something I encourage, So right now, if you pledge to any of my campaigns, you have 1 year to get back to me. I still have some packages here. I have some packages here from previous campaigns that are I think like the next one is about to expire in May.
God, that should be a given. After a year,
right.
If you haven't gotten your shit, it's a donation. And then the same should be for the fucking creators. There should be an automatic refund on non-fulfillments after a year too.
I mean,
that's just my personal opinion.
Well,
I'm gonna drink my tea.
Well, you see, that one's a little trickier because, like I said, if you're getting your stuff printed overseas, like in China, depending on what's going on, it could take about a year to get your books back. I mean, depending on what you're getting produced. So that's a little bit that's a little bit trickier. Like I know for a fact that toys especially, I mean, they could take up to 6 months, if not longer.
I've been waiting on fucking comic books from Indiegogo for 3 fucking years, dude.
Oh no, yeah, I have
3 fucking years. In fact, I just got the digital rewards on a book that I backed a few years or a couple years ago now.
Right.
And it's like, I don't even want your shit no more.
Right.
And especially it pissed me off to get the digital because it made me even more angry that the physical hasn't gotten here yet.
Right.
And I was so excited about this fucking project. And now I'm like, fucking, it's glorified toilet paper.
You know, I mean, yeah, it's tough because it's like, and again, it's like your mileage may vary because Jose doesn't care. Like Jose is like, he's like,
yeah, but Jose forgets he backs shit. That's true. Count. He'll back whatever.
He's always getting kickstartled.
He gets that's all the time. I was waiting for this shit.
Yeah,
I supported this dude. I shared his shit, and I have regretted. Now I will never share another campaign of his. No, I will not promote him. Will never back him.
Right? Yeah, I have people that I refuse to do that too because it's like, you know what? When I pledge to a campaign, I want to get my stuff in a reasonable amount of time. I mean, we spoke about this more in detail on my Wednesday stream, which if you missed my Wednesday stream, we went more into detail about this, about like, how long should you wait? How long, you know, it's like, how long is everybody waiting for crowdfunding? And you know, and it's like, you know, there's, you know, it's like, there's, you know, so it's like, I really don't want to get into like to repeat myself with what I was saying on Wednesday. So if you want to catch my thoughts on it, you can check out the Wednesday show.
Have your shit ready to go before you present
pretty
it.
much. Yeah. I mean, because I'm of the, you know, I'm of the mindset, and mind you, this is a hill I will die on. Have your books ready to go before you run a Kickstarter, you know. You know, I mean, I didn't think that would be such a controversial statement, but I always get pushback whenever I say that, and all I could say is sorry, not sorry. It's like sorry, not sorry. If you can't afford to get your shit together with doing your comics, you have bigger problems than doing comics.
Right.
You know, so it's like,
and if you have no skin in the game, why am I going to want to cut my skin off to give it to you right now?
Right.
Like, that's where I'm at. And I used to not feel that way. In fact, I kind of used to think it was a little arrogant of you to say that. I'll be honest, but I don't anymore. And I understand it completely. And I am like 100% in support of Daphne. Get your shit together first.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is though, too, as long as I can see that your book is almost ready to go, because it's like, look, I spent during you would, and I don't think it's that. I mean, I would have thought that's logical, Tyler. I mean, it's like, really, have your book done, you know, before you run a Kickstarter. Like, it's like, look, I spent the entire Peacekeepers campaign color correcting Eager Raven issue 6, which launches next week. I am literally about ready to send this to the printer for proofs. You know, so it's like, it's like, I would have preferred to have had the proofs when the right, exactly. That's a whole other conversation. I would have preferred to have had the proofs when we launched the campaign, but you know, it's like my printer can take to 5 days up to 3 weeks to get me my books. So
and that motherfucker going around saying, "Oh, but you're supporting the dream." Let me tell you something, bitch. I don't want to support your dream if I can't see it.
Right? Yeah. You know, I mean, it's like I'm not supporting.
I know what dreams are like. God, I have some weird shit.
Right.
You know?
Well,
like,
you know,
no,
hey.
I'm not paying for that.
You know, it's like, look, I'm not supporting your dream. I'm buying a comic.
No.
You know, if buying your comic supports your dream,
your $30 comic at that.
Yeah, right. You know
what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's what the average floppy is costing to get out.
Yeah, I know. Really, it's like, you know, but that's boutique comic book selling, you know, on crowdfunding.
And I expect my boutique product.
Right. No, exactly. The amount of money that gets spent on these books, you know, yeah, exactly. I think so too. I think that when you can show that a book is completed, it's like even in this, like, you see, and that's the thing, even if you're just showing something like this, comics by Gucci, I know sometimes it feels like that. I'm more of a Burberry girl myself. Everything's in plaid. Everything's the Haymarket print. Yeah, like I think like being able to do this would give people more confidence in backing you. We'll all get canceled together, Tyler.
Lumberjack bitches unite.
I know, really. But yeah, it's like I said, it's like, so hold on. It's like, so give them a year. So if you have pledges that they haven't returned your survey yet, give them the year as a courtesy, because that's the courtesy that Kickstarter is giving to you. And then once they close that out, you know what? It's like, it's been a year. Come on. It's, and mind you, it's like, look, sometimes things happen, like pledgers die. It's like, so
it happens.
It happens. I've had that happen. So, have obviously no control over that. So, so I would say just hold on to those pledges for a year. Give them the same courtesy Kickstarter is giving you, and then after that, you take back the inventory. The pledge is a donation, and yes, you. I think so too.
Like,
I think
the audacity of the very, very newbie that comes, it's like, bro, come on,
right?
I mean, it's like, I fell for it and fell for it and fell for it and fell for it.
Yeah, because it's like, we're trying to. It's like we want to help people with their dreams, but at the same time, it's like, come on, meet me in the middle here,
right?
It's like, because when I did Eager Raven issue 1, I really made sure that I had proof in hand before I even got near a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to make sure that I was on the right track with it. And then after that, it was just like, okay, get the proof done, just keep getting the books done. Like I said, I didn't expect that take to be that saucy.
But I can't afford an artist.
You know what? There's a tweet that I saved because of this. I'm not going to find it right now. Because it's like, it wasn't something that I was expecting to talk about, but because there's something else that I want to talk about. If Tyler, you want hot takes,
if Nita will shut up.
We have hot takes coming up in a couple of minutes.
Ooh, can I rant?
Yeah, we could both rant. Yeah. So, and she pretty much said, like, she was talking about something else, but the sentiment was the same. It's like, people say, but what if I can't do this? What if I can't afford that? And she literally goes, well, maybe you don't get to do it then.
Right.
I mean, it's like, not everybody can do what they want to do, so it's like,
I couldn't. So I started sleeping with Chris, and look what happened. There's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way.
4 kids later. So, and it's that, it's like, okay, so maybe that's, it's like, it's like, well, if you can't afford to hire an artist, get a job. It's like, because it's like, honestly, it's like everything that I do is out of pocket until I have to do a Kickstarter, because, like, you know what? I don't want the stress. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like, we tend to,
and sometimes that's just it. Sometimes we have to earn the money to put ourselves out there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, if you can't, I mean, it's like, look, if your family can't do things, you find a way to do it, right?
Right.
I mean, it's like, if you want to take your kids on vacation or something, you don't sit around going, oh, maybe I should run a GoFundMe to so I can take my kids to Disney. It's like, look,
we can do that. Fuck yeah, my GoFundMe's coming up right after these messages.
Look, there was a girl who GoFunded me Beyonce tickets.
Get the fuck out. I really seriously am contemplating GoFundMe a PlayStation 5.
I mean, but the thing is, but think about that. Look at how ridiculous that sounds, right? But for some reason, we're supposed to, like, kind of, yeah, exactly. It's like, we're supposed to, like, be sympathetic if somebody says, oh, I can't afford to hire an artist. And it's like, well, okay, what if you couldn't afford something for your kids? What then? You know, what if you couldn't afford something that you needed? What then? You know, what it's like, you know, it's like if you really want to make something happen, you figure out a way to do it, you know. But the thing is, though, crowdfunding, right? You know,
there.
it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, because it's like, here's the thing. It's like, nobody can want this more than you, you know. And if you're showing me you're not willing to do what it takes to get what you want, yeah, exactly. Exactly, Jake. You know, so it's like, if you're not willing to show me that you won't, you know, to show me that you'll do whatever it takes to get what you want, why do I want to be a part of that? You know, I mean, that's it, it's like, you know, let the crowdfunding be the reward for your hard work.
Right.
You know, because that's kind of that's how I look at it. The crowdfunding is the reward for all the work, the work that I put into doing these books. You know, it's not the, oh my God, if I can't get these books, you know, if I can't get this funded, I can't do these books. Then there's something wrong in your plan.
Right.
You know, because it's like, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Nita's getting a PS5s for everybody. You know, so yeah, so that's, like I said, it's like, if you want to hear, actually, if you want to hear a kind of like a crankier version of this, you can go see my live stream on Wednesday.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
didn't really, yeah, I kind of got a little too cranky.
Okay, so what's up? Okay, so let's breathe in.
Right, that's true. Yeah, make it up.
All right, and what's the rant?
Okay, so yesterday, Twitter blew up. Twitter blew up like it always does, but this one, you know, it's like every year there seems to be this argument that pops up. And Tyler's going to know what I'm talking about when I bring up this picture, because we were talking back and forth about it. So yesterday, somebody posted up, where's my cursor? This photograph on Twitter. So what you're seeing is, I guess, their local Barnes and Noble. And this is the difference between their manga section and the more Western graphic novel section. So as you can see, manga has an entire like it's like I can't even count how many shelves. They have a literal wall, while graphic novels has this pathetic little shelf next to it. You know, so of course, you know, so of course it started again the yearly manga versus Western comic debate on Twitter. The problem with this argument, because like I said, it pops up in some variation every year.
Same.
Yes, it really is. You can set the stars by it, you know. The problem with this argument as to like, oh, why manga gets more respect in bookstores, and look at, you know, like, oh, it looks like a little shitty basement box, you know, for regular comics or whatnot. And then it's like everyone starts talking about how manga is superior, you know, to Western comics and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other thing. And Tyler had brought up the point that the thing that people are missing whenever they have this argument is that it's not about like something subjective, like the story or the artwork. That's subjective,
right?
You know, but we're talking about different distribution models that allows one to happen and the other doesn't happen. You know, and in this case, it's a Barnes and Noble, and you know, and in bookstores, it's like, you know, manga dominates bookstores, while more mainstream comics dominates the direct market. And here's the thing: if most people are buying Western comic books through the direct market, why does this picture surprise you? When was the last time you bought like a Western style comic? And you know what? Let me clarify that, because the one thing that I do hate about that's another thing too. Someone did comment that it's like, you know, you're talking about how many series are really on this shelf, you know, because when we're talking about like One Piece has what, like 200 volumes,
Right.
Right. But also the thing too, the reason why this argument doesn't work is because they're comparing an entire industry with two companies. That's the real
Isn't
argument
that the truth?
happened.
Thank you.
They're comparing the entirety of the manga industry to Marvel and DC. And it's a very unfair comparison. Because here's the thing though, is like because whenever people talk about Western comics, everybody gets blind to independent comics. All of a sudden, books that you see on Kickstarter doesn't exist.
Right.
It's like if Marvel and DC are not doing it, it doesn't exist. So you're talking about, so manga as an industry is a powerhouse. But you're talking about two, right. It's like you're talking about two companies. Disney could probably do it, but they don't. It's like, so you're talking about Marvel and DC having this pathetic little shelf while manga takes up everything, right? So here was a couple of things, right? The person who posted this picture was saying, quotes, of course, the quote retweets, right, are saying that are dancing on a comic's grave, which is fair, but it's not, because the story. Okay. Oh, someone is saying, it's not because the stories are better. I'd argue that the average manga series and comic series are the same level of quality. Manga just won the marketing franchising war by actually printing books people want to read. And even I kind of question that because I think that what it is that I agree more with Tyler, that I think it's more the format and the distribution model that's giving them the edge, not really quality. Because it's like I was mentioning this to Jose, and he was saying
horrible art.
Because I was mentioning this to Jose, and Jose goes, what's really funny is that what's the manga equivalent of Watchmen? What's the manga equivalent of The Dark Knight or something? What's the equivalent of Sandman? And I'm sitting there going, well, that's why I say that I agree with Tyler saying that this is all subjective, because those three books that you mentioned, I don't consider them the top of anything at all. I find me personally, Watchmen was incredibly stupid. The Dark Knight was okay, and Sandman is just, Jesus, insufferable.
Okay,
it's insufferable.
I do like Sandman.
For me to read, it was completely insufferable. So what you're considering the cream of the top in Western comics, I wouldn't even wipe my shoe with them. And you see, but here's the thing, though. Akira is a fucking slog. Okay, it's like so it's not like it's like and. And I'm going to piss off. You know what? I'm going to piss off everybody today. Akira is a slog. Shiro is unreadable.
It's only one person's opinion. Please stay silent.
It's like Shiro is completely unreadable. And it's like, and at best, Nausicaa Valley of the Wind is kind of boring. So it's like, again, it's like the quality is incredibly subjective. That's not, but that's the thing, though. That's not what we're talking about. You're talking. This is a divorce words. So it's like you're talking about two separate distribution models that benefits one but not the other. Right, exactly. It's like, I don't know. You see, and this is the thing too, because this is also something that I mentioned on Tyler's on Tyler's thing, was that what people are not realizing, because it's like also the reason why you can't really go by. I've never read it, and honestly, it's not a book I'm interested in, to tell you the truth.
Ta-da.
it's like, so I was looking up some things, right? And here and the thing is that we all also have to remember why you cannot base this argument on, oh, it's more manga's more diverse, manga's better written, and blah blah blah. It's like, one, neither is true, because the last time I went to Midtown Comics and looked at their manga section, it was like, well, if I wanted to read a high school drama, I could get that. Oh, look, here's another high school drama. Oh, look, another high school drama. It's like, so manga has its own problems. But here's the thing too, is that what we're seeing coming out of Japan is the best of the best, pretty much, that these publishers are paying for. So this is pretty much, we're spoiled by the fact that we're only seeing the best mangas that make it over here. Because I looked up something which I thought was interesting. So I looked up how many vendors are at San Diego Comic-Con, which is what considered like the largest comic book convention in the United States, comic book / media convention, right? Now, the thing, yes, I agree that that's part of the problem of this discussion too. So for San Diego Comic-Con 2022, there were over 550 exhibitors, or over 900 if you include all areas. They don't break it down by how many were actually comic booths and comic artists or whatnot. But at most, you're talking 900 vendors, right? And obviously not all of them are selling comics. I looked up Comic-Cat. How many people, how many vendors are at Comic-Cat? Let's see. Comic-Cat focused primarily on the sale of doujin, or this is their self-published work, non-commercial self-published works. 35,000 vendors just doing comics at Comic-Cat. 35,000 creators at Comic-Cat, right? Corporate booths only account for 190. 30,000. Okay? I put dollars to dimes. If you compare the entire, even the bird's impressed. If you compare the entirety of Western comics, including every independent comic that's come out, and you compared it to the entirety of the manga industry, the garbage to good shit ratio is probably the same.
And can I just also say, because I'm just so fucking sick of this argument. If you're into comics and you have a beef because manga does so much better, and you're so defeated by manga that you can't even make a fucking comic book that people want to read, go make a fucking manga and shut up.
Right. But here's the ironic thing about the argument, though, right? Because again, people are comparing all of manga industry in the United States. Remember, we're not seeing everything, right? Comparing it to Marvel and DC. So I looked up something else, right? What actually is the best-selling comics at, what's the the category of comics that are actually selling the best in the United States? What comes after manga are middle grade books. And this is something that someone had pointed out. Middle grade school books, school comics, right? And so, but the thing is, though, is that those types of books, they are the second largest comic books, like comic book segment being sold in the United States today. Comics for middle schoolers, right? These are the books you find at libraries, at scholastic book fairs, and whatnot. So this is the second largest comic segment, right? And when I went to look up what these books are, let me see if I can show this. Okay, share screen. Let me see. So here is, okay, let me see if I can get this. Okay, no, I am not going to allow ads. This is an article, the most popular middle grade comics as chosen by students. So if they're not reading manga, or if they haven't graduated from manga or to manga yet, these are the books kids are reading. And as I went down the list, what's kind of the common denominator of these comics? None of them are Marvel and DC.
Wow.
You know, it's like I'm pretty sure Scholastic dominates. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, because when I went to look at another list, the top 50 must read well, you know, yeah, you know, it's like the top 50 books that are read by kids. You know, as I guess like these are like this list was put together by librarians. I only recognized 2 of them, and neither of them are Marvel. I recognized Bone, and I recognized, what was the other one? The one with the unicorn. Hold on, because of course I would recognize the one with the unicorn in it. Let's say, Amulet, which is by Scholastic. That one I recognized. And you know, Dogman is on the list. Phoebe and Her Unicorn by Dana Simpson. That I remembered from way back. You know, but 50, but none of them are Marvel. These are what kids are actually reading. So it's like middle school books, and then they graduate to manga, or they're reading this in conjunction to manga. So honestly, when people say that comic books is a growth industry, they're right. Comic books are big in the United States. It's just not Marvel and DC. You know, that's, you know, I've even looked up, right, exactly, Captain Underpants and whatnot. And so Marvel, I looked up Marvel doing kids books, and it's actually not that much. Like it's literally like a very superficial dip in the market, but that's all it is. Like, look, I don't know what's going on at those offices. I honestly, I really don't care about them as companies or as whatever it is they produce. I have absolutely no interest in Marvel or DC at all and what they produce. But the thing is, though, is that the fact that I think the problem is that too many people look at those two companies as the end all be all, because like I said, it's like they don't even account for all the independent books that gets produced, you know, at one. I mean, it's like what? It's like 250 Kickstarters at one time, you know, and that's, you know, and that's not counting just the people who are just publishing and minding their own business, you know. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, I think that, you know, so it's right. I mean, it's like, look, you know, if you're talking about why is it that Marvel and DC have a shelf on Barnes and Nobles, well, the question is that Marvel and DC don't seem to mind. They don't seem to care. Why? Because they have their local, they have the direct distribution model where they sell most of their stuff.
Right.
You know? So it's like, if Marvel and DC wanted to do something as a company to rectify that situation, I'm pretty sure they could, but they're just not interested. It's not a model that they're interested in really going gung-ho in, you know? And the thing is that also, when you look at the kids that read manga, the kids that read these middle school books, they're not really into, you know, what Marvel and DC have to offer anyway. You know? So it's like, in the end, it's like, you know, Marvel and DC for for like a while, they were like trying, how do we get more kids to read superhero comics? Well, here's the problem. You know, like me, you don't. You know, it's like, well, how do I get, you know, I was like, oh, how would I get you to read superhero comics? You don't.
Nope, you don't.
You know? I will, it's like, yeah, do I have X-Men on my shelf? Yes, I do. I have Asgardian Wars, because Asgardian Wars is not just a superhero comic, it's a mythology, you know, so it pushes those fantasy buttons that I enjoy, you know. So yeah, that's why I have, you know, Asgardian Wars on my shelf. You know, but it's not something, it's like, but I don't really collect Thor. I don't collect, like Doctor Strange or with their more fantasy. I mean, it's like, because in the end, it's like their content doesn't interest me. And then I really had to think about it. The last time I went into a comic book shop and was actually excited for the comics that was being offered, like literally I could close my eyes and stick my hand out and I would be touching a book that I would be interested in sight unseen, was when I was in Paris. You see, because in the end, I'm not really that much into manga or Western comics. French comics are my thing. You know, Euro comics are my thing, because in the end, that was the market that was producing books that I was interested in. You know, that books that are so goddamn niche, you know, that it's like, I literally have a French comic that, I mean, I've showed this before. And mind you, French comics are like a complete opposite of manga. You know, they're these giant hardcovers, right? Which they range about like maybe 60 pages. They come out once a year, if you're lucky. I think I've been waiting 2 years for the next episode, the next volume of Eagles of Rome. You know, but you see, you know, you kind of see where I'm going here. These books don't exist here. Nobody's doing books like this here. The closest manga that I picked up was Vinland Saga, that I still have to read. You know, and I'm slowly getting through Berserk when I find the books on sale from Dark Horse. But like, these are the books that make me excited. You know. So it's like, can I find these here? Absolutely not. I have to go out of my way to get them. But to me, that's worth it. You know, and you know, but look at it. It's a book about chariot racing. That's how specific the title is. You know, you know, Eagles of Rome. You know, it's like, look, it's like, I'm such a dork for this time period, thanks to watching I, Claudius at 9. You know. So it's like, you know, and the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. It's a completely different like style, like a completely different visual language. You know, so it's like, you know, so it's like when I'm here, it's like, oh, manga is better, you know, than Western comics or whatnot. And it's like, no, I disagree. But in the end, it's subjective. You know, it just depends on what you're looking for. You know, I just prefer this style of book, you know, than I actually that I actually do manga, than I actually do Western comics. You know, there we go. Okay, so you know, and see, that's the thing. I think Dark Horse, the only problem with these French comics coming into the United States is that depending on who publishes them, they have a tendency to change the formats. And I know that there was like several years ago, there was a controversy over a publisher was actually rearranging panels. And it was just like, no, you don't do that. You know, it's like, you know, so it's like, it's like, I don't know, like in Paris, I think I paid, I think I was paying like $18 a book. You see, and that's the thing too. It's like, and, you know, and it's like, I must have bought like 50 pounds worth of books, you know? I pretty much any money that I had brought to Paris, you know, it's like all got spent on these books, you know? And like I said, it was probably the only time that, you know, it's like that I felt that I was excited about being in a comic book store. Okay, all right. Yeah, and that's the thing. There were so many of these types of books. Yes, I have. Yes, in fact.
Uh-oh.
In fact, here it is. Here's Solo. This is also the French, the French version. I have the French and Italian version. They came out in paperback. I mean, come on. How can you not love this? I mean, these books are amazing. I think it's like, and he has a whole series of them. It's just that, so yeah. So it's like, yeah, absolutely. I got this. Oh, because he also did, because this was also a book that I picked up in Paris. That also, this was my introduction to Oscar Martin. So yeah. So it's like, all I had to do was just lean over, and it's like, holy crap. I want this. I want that. I want the other thing. I never feel like that. The last time I felt like that in an American comic book store was when I first discovered Forbidden Planet back when I was in high school. And it was kind of
15.
like the middle. No, don't do the math on that. And like this is another book that I picked up.
Me too.
This is another one, that I picked up. So yeah, I mean, it's like it's like my suitcase was, it's like, this is, yeah, no, I really was. I mean, and I could have bought more, because it's like I told Jose, it's like, oh, this is what it feels like when somebody goes to Midtown and they love superhero comics, huh? And and it's like, yeah, so the last time I was excited at a Western comic book store was when I discovered when I found Forbidden Planet was literally like 3 or 4 blocks away from my high school. And it was the first time I had ever been inside of a comic book shop. I've never seen one before by that point. And it was like, it was in the midst of the 80s boom. And and I was finding, I was finding stuff like this. I was finding more ElfQuest. I was finding more, so it's like, yeah, it's like when there's a lot of variety of books, it's easy to be excited. It's easy to like find something that you like, but that's not. So, I mean, so what's funny for me is that I think that we have to be careful, because technically the manga sections that you find at Barnes and Nobles kind of is turning into having the same problem as when you go to I don't know. It's like the language. It's like the language barrier. I mean, even though I can speak very, very superficial tourism French, I don't know if I would if I had to stay in a European city, I would just go back to my home city, Valencia, Spain. I would just go back there. If so, it's like I'd probably have a better I would have a better luck with being in Spain than being in France. But at least in Spain, I could just get on a train and 45 minutes later I'm in France. Right. Because that's what my cousins do. That's what my uncle and cousins do. They take literal weekend trips to Paris just to hang. I mean, the idea is just mind-blowing. Goddamn socialist countries with their high-speed rail. But I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like, because it's like, yeah, so what it is, like, yeah, I think what it is that on one hand, I think that Western comics are being too villainized because we're seeing them through the lens of two companies, right? As opposed to looking at it as a whole, because like I said, you just look on Kickstarter and you can find the variety and the diversity and whatnot that people say that they want. But the thing, like I said, is like way too many people of Marvel and DC don't do it. It doesn't exist. Right. But at the same time, there's like this, there's this romanticization of manga that I don't think really merits it either.
Right.
It's like that it's like, I don't think that, manga as a whole is that brilliant of a medium. I think that the stories are, are like I said, it's like they're like Tyler said, that it's like, it's, it's subjective. Like I said, Akira, it's like, yes, it's like the movie had a profound effect on many artists, including myself, right? But as a book, I found it unreadable. I found it unreadable. You read Ghost in the Shell, and it's like, really? You're supposed to read this? It's like, I don't think Shiro wrote it expecting people to read it. You're only there to look at his long-legged, firm-titted, little, warrior waifs or whatnot. I mean, it's like, it's like, and the robots. Because I have to admit, Ibrarios, I think, it's like, I really like Ibrarios, so, but that's Appleseed. That's from Appleseed, because I really liked Ibrarios and Dunan's chemistry. But as a story, as a whole, come on. It's, we're not talking, well that is Appleseed. That is Appleseed. Like I said, it's Shiro. It's unreadable. It's like, I remember even at the time when it was coming out, it was just like, he wasn't expecting people to read this. I'm not.
This was really just his notes.
Yeah, it's like, I don't. It's like, am I just dense? It's like, is there just something here I'm not getting? So even back then, it's like, in the end, I was just looking at the pictures, pretty much. And it's like, yeah, and then, like I said, it's like with manga, though. I mean, yes, am I more likely to find a book that I'm interested in? Yeah, I literally found a manga series, a three volumes. It's a little too far up, so I can't get it. About Joan of Arc, done by the artist from Macross, or Robotech, is the youngins know. And it's like, it's a beautiful manga series, and I found that by chance at Midtown. Very excited when I saw that. Like I said, it's about the fictionalized life of Joan of Arc. And it's just, yeah, it's like, and I think that's what it is. Like, everybody's like, yeah, I think that, it's like, yes, it's like, do you have a preference? Yes, I understand. You like this, you like that, but it shouldn't be like one is a war against another. Because here's the thing, manga is just Japanese for comics.
Thank you.
So all you're saying is that a war on comics. It's like, oh, these comics are better than these comics. But the thing is, though, it's all comics. Do you enjoy comics? Then read the comics you like. But I think in the end, the whole discussion as to why, the argument as to why manga has such a foothold in the American mainstream, as opposed to, which technically is not true. Technically not true, because it's like, the average person knows who Spider-Man is, knows who Batman is. They've seen all the movies.
Right.
So it's not like they don't know what comics are. They don't know what these characters are. It's just that, Marvel, Disney, Time Warner, whoever the fuck owns who Discovery, they have a different platforms that they want to put their IPs on, that they want to put their books on. Because like I said, if Marvel and DC were that concerned about how their books were being portrayed, were being, put together in a bookstore at Barnes and Nobles, trust me, they would do something about it. Because a lot of companies, a lot of these booksellers, they have representatives that go into every one of these stores to make sure that their books are displayed correctly. A lot of stores do this. A lot of companies do this. If Marvel and DC gave that much of a shit, they would be doing that too. There would be representatives coming in to make sure that DC had their own section, that Marvel, and it was like all displayed nicely, and what, you can't just, throw our books on a shelf like that. There are people who do that all the time. You go to a supermarket. The supermarket is not displaying Coke. It's Coke that's sending representatives to make the displays and whatnot to make you buy more Coke.
Damn straight.
Maybe I should have used a different product name.
No, Coke works. Coke all around.
You know? So don't tell me Marvel and DC can't do this. But the thing is, though, they have a stranglehold on an entire on the entire direct market. So why do they need to spend time on that? And like I said, when was the last time you bought a mainstream comic at Barnes and Nobles? No, you're usually buying them at Amazon. You're usually buying it at your local comic book store. You're usually buying them at half off from DCBS. As what Jose says, he goes, if you're buying your comics at Barnes and Noble, you don't know how to shop because you're paying full price for a book you can get for half price elsewhere.
Straight. I love that site.
You know, so yeah, not Spawn, but DCBS for all your half price comic book needs. You know, you could literally pick up Berserk. It's a $40 book you could pick up sometimes for $20, if not less, on DCBS. So, wow. You know, so yeah. So the argument I find is, you know, and for everybody who's dancing on Marvel and DC's grave, your shoes, you're going to wear holes in your shoes if you keep doing that, because you know what, people have been doing that since Image came up in the 90s, like, oh, this is the end of Marvel and DC. You know, it's like, look, it's kind of like comics in general, where every year, so it's like, oh, comics are dying. No, comics are not dying. It's evolving. It's pivoting. What did we start off the show with? Learn how to pivot. You know, and we're not talking about your content. We're talking about studying what market you need to be in to reach a certain demographic that you're interested in, and what you need to do to cater your book to that demographic. I've already spoke about how I was like testing with doing, you know, Eager Raven and Tall Tales tankobons, right? Where it's like I'm putting them together in that format. You know, I would even do like new covers for them, imitating the styles, you know, imitating that format, the size, the aesthetic. The story is not going to change. Doesn't have to, because in the end, I really do think that's not the point. I just think that you know, the fact that it's less expensive, it's printed on cheaper paper, it's black and white, you know, it's like it all fits. It has a certain aesthetic when you put them all on the shelf.
Yep.
You know, so it's like it has kind of like a very satisfying look to it, you know, because, you know, but to me, that's a future me problem. Because I'm not in the distribution model that merits that work, that merits that effort. It's like making a tankobon and not having access to that Barnes and Noble's network is pointless for me right now.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, that's why my stuff is on Kickstarter and formatted the way. But if I needed to, I now have the information on, you know, on how, you know, on how, you know, to do this if I needed to pivot. You know, it's like, so that's the thing. So it's like, one, it's like, no,
you mean you're not going to just lay down and cry, Daphne?
I'm too busy to do that.
Thank you.
You know, I'm too busy actually making comics to cry about whether there's a shelf or 9 banks of shelves at a Barnes and Noble. You know, I mean, it's like, well,
I mean, really, there's 3 options. You can lay down and cry about it, or you can stay busy and keep doing what you're doing, what's working for you at this moment, or you could just go write a fucking manga and see if that works for you.
You know, it's like, look, the options are there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like, that's the thing. It's like, you know, it's like, yeah, like I said, the argument is incredibly tiresome. It's very subjective, like, and for everybody to kind of like, who's in this argument, in this discourse, talking about, oh, Western, you know, it's like, oh, Western manga, you know, Western comics suck and manga is the best. And it's like, look, take your weeb ass out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. Because it's like, you know what? It's like, it's a lot. formatting on one hand is incredibly like a superficial thing, because in the end it is an easy thing to change. Easy but not simple, you know. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that it's superior. It just means that you're catering your book format wise to a different market and to a different demographic that has different needs. And and like I said, I know next year there's going to be some kind of argument about this too. Again, it's going to pop up again, like hay fever season. Oh, it's manga versus Marvel discourse. But it's like, okay, so here we are. We're almost like 10 minutes over. But it's like, but yeah, it's like I said, it's like in the end, it's like, I'm so dedicated to finding books that I want to read. I literally not only had to go to a foreign country, I had to go to another country to do it, but I'm reading them in another language as well. That's devotion. How, it's like, it's like I'm literally learning French reading these comics, because I'm so excited by these comics that I love having them. I mean, it's like the next time we go to Paris, I have to bring a whole ass empty suitcase, because I'm just gonna be a mess, because the next time we go, I want to stay in the area that's considering the publishing quarter of Paris, which is near Notre Dame and across from the Louvre. And we're talking about, like, you could visit like Teschen and all like the major book publishers there. They have, and it's just like, might need 2 suitcases. Although for Teschen, you can only carry 1 Teschen book in 1 suitcase. They're just absolutely ridiculous. Talk about formatting that's just like absolutely insane. But yeah, on that note, did I scare everybody off? Did I piss everybody?
No, there's actually 14 people still here.
We canceled?
I don't know what the fuck's wrong with them, but they're here.
Are we canceled?
Yes.
So there we go. So yeah, but you know what? It's like, so it's in the end, what it boils down to, it's a stupid argument that's unnecessary. Comics is booming, comics is growing. It's just that it's not the comics you think it is. And distribution model. That's really what it boils down to. And also remember, independent comics has the books that you want exist. You just have to make the effort to look for it. I mean, unfortunately, look, even back in the day, I really resented that idea. It's like, because like, no, it should be accessible. And it's like, but look, there just comes a point where it's like, look, if you enjoy comics and you really want to see it grow, you have to make the effort to buy the comics to see them grow. It's that, like I said, Kickstarter, 250 campaigns at a time for comics.
Yep.
I mean, and there's like a whole bunch of other crowdfunding sites to go online, find your favorite artists. They're doing comics too, and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, it's like, look, it's, it's like, you know what? It's like I said, it's a useless argument. Manga versus superheroes versus this versus that. It's useless. It's useless. It's comics. We all should be supporting the comics that we want to see in the world. So go do that. Go buy independent comics, especially ours.
Yes, ma'am.
So on that note, I would like to thank everybody who still remained in the chat. In spite of me saying that Akira was a slog. But not for nothing, though. I did read the entirety of Lone Wolf and Cub. Okay? So I am not completely without taste. That was a good series. So, like I said, your mileage may vary. And I'd like to thank the 14 people who stuck it out with us, who stuck it out with us for this hour. Thank you so much for watching. Oh my goodness. So Nita, do you have any final thoughts about this?
Remember, tune in tonight for the release of the Boger on Indie Comics Network at 8 p.m. Eastern. And you guys, if you're going out, stay safe and be smart. Don't drink and drive. Yay.
Yeah, exactly. Right, exactly. And especially if you're in New York, don't pick a fight with the cops, man. It'll end badly. Just don't. Not today. Not today. And thank you so much, everybody. And if you want to,
if you're gonna throw a fist, make her night.
Right. It's like, it's like if you want to read more after this rant, if you still want to be interested, if you're still interested in my work and my comics and my crowdfunding, you're gonna head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook. If you're interested in seeing sketches and current work in progress at any any live updates, current live updates I do of whatever I'm working on. And remember that you can check out all my videos on how I do my comics here on YouTube at my channel at Daphne Lage Art. That's Lage, which also simulcasts through the one, the only Indie Comics Network.
.com.
And yes, and remember that you can join me every Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern on my channel, again, which also simulcasts through Indie Comics Network, for my somewhat weekly live streams every Wednesday. And then we're just going to do this again with the vlogs on Monday, and just start the week all over again. Because this week went by really, really fast. Remember, you can read Eager Raven, Air the First Unicorn for free at the website. Uploads every day, Monday through Friday, in its full color Kickstarter version. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a furry Lord of the Rings adventure, you can follow the links to Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And not only can you read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free, but you can read the latest story arc, Tears of the Mother, which is uploading right now, Monday through Friday, every day, so that you can follow the continuing adventures of Ravenwood and the gang as they continue in the story arc, which is a direct continuation from Thieves' Quest. So remember, next Friday, Eager Raven, Air the First Unicorn returns to Kickstarter. We will be launching it live on our Friday show. So join us then. Make sure you hit all the links in the show notes so you can, and also check out our beautiful QR code there. So where you can sign up for the pre-launch page to get notified when the campaign goes live. Like I said, we're going to do the launch next Friday on the vlogs. We're going to have a good time. We're going to see how far we can take this. I'm very excited to finally put this issue out. I'm even more excited to get my proofs back once I send it out to the printers today. So there you have it. Thank you so much for this Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday. Yeah. It's Friday for joining us on, at least over here, this beautiful Friday afternoon. Everybody have a safe day. And in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, both literally and figuratively, and do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
But since so many of these guys stuck around, I'm going to throw a bump on the way out.
Okay, there we go. Hit it.
So check out Doghouse on Kickstarter.